must also remember warnings, okay, about working with certain spirits. If you do work with spirits, not everybody does. Number one, don't always expect a spirit or a deity or a god or a goddess to grant your wishes. There may be a reason for that. It could be that, you need to learn a little bit more. It could be that, you are not ready, or it could be that they are not there to grant your wishes like a genie. Maybe they're there to give you knowledge and to give you spiritual guidance. Okay, everyone. So after the video about deities, gods and goddesses and spirit guides, there's one thing that I wanted to mention. Not everybody who practices witchcraft and spirituality works with spirits. Usually people, they really just want to see the magic or what they can do to manifest. That's really like the most or the main topic that comes up when spirituality and witchcraft comes along, or healing work. But in my case, I do have some things that I may show here. It took me a while to see if I wanted to show you guys, just like in our 2022 class. When I did that class, I showed a lot of spirit type of stuff that happened. And a lot of times these deities, gods and goddesses, you can choose them, but eventually if they don't work for you, or if they don't work with you well, you may be guided to the proper ones that do work with you. And in my case, that happened to me as well. I started off, kind of like with Wicca, Buddhism first, and Wicca, well, actually Christianity, Buddhism, Wicca, and now just witchcraft, and moving into hoodoo just naturally. And that may be, through the way of my ancestors and, my spirit guides that are trying to, kind of push me along in a different direction and teach me the things that, I need to know. For you guys, it could be anything. It could be Celtic, it could be Nordic, it could be, anything that aligns well with you, right? So these type of things happen. I wanted to mention that because when I started, I tried to choose my deities, my gods and goddesses. It takes a lot of research. I mean, reading, giving different offerings, seeing which one works, whether or not it's a water goddess or, a nature god or, something like that. Or if it's just within you already and you don't need any of this stuff at all. So, and that all depends. It could be your bloodline. It could be where you came from. It could be where your parents came from, or anything like that. Or it just could be an energy within you that matches and connects with a certain entity. So that's really what I want to say. And then dreams. I did mention that in the, in the other videos. Dreams and synchronicities, a lot of that type of stuff can happen and let you know which entity, because you'll start figuring it out, which entity is connected with you, or which spirit or which god or goddess, deity connects with you. And then as far as spirit guides, I believe we're all born with spirit guides, or a protector or a watcher that's always around to make sure that we're okay, or make sure we're going in the direction we need to go, no matter what you choose, no matter which direction you go in your life. If you feel like, if you feel like you've been in a situation where something told you, make this decision instead of that decision, and you did, and something really profound happened because you made a different decision, that could be your spirit guides tapping you on the shoulder and letting you know, which way to go or what kind of path to take in your life. Now, for me, I learned by trial and error. This is not always good for everybody because trial and error could feel kind of scary. It's like jumping into a pool and not knowing if there's a bottom on the pool. Okay. I've done that, which is why I'm a teacher. I've literally knocked my head a couple of times within this spiritual realm, trying to figure out, what works for me and what doesn't. I believe that was the best way for me to try, instead of, getting initiated by a high priest or a high priestess. And then the other thing too is, once you learn from your deity or from the spirits, it's not up to, it's not up to me. It's not up to anybody to start arguing about what these different spirits do. Of when people are online and they're arguing about certain deities, gods and goddesses, what they like and what they don't like, and, you know, don't do this and don't do that. That's not what they're about. They don't like this and that. That's fine. There could be something, you know, set in stone about a certain god or goddess and what they like and what they don't like. But initially, it's all about what type of experience you are having with this particular deity. I'll give you an example. I was watching TikTok one day, and there was a guy that was reading, he was reading this book, and he was reading something about Bridget. All right. He was reading something about Bridget. And then he put his book down and he looked at the TV, and there was like a commercial for some type of show mentioning, you know, the main character, you know, being Bridget or whatever. But I got it, because these type of synchronicities can happen all the time. Other type of synchronicities is maybe feeling more drawn to fire. You know, there may be certain spirits that are trying to kind of connect you through the elements and stuff like that. So you're always like working with like fire, you know, wood wands and wooden staffs, and you're always out in nature, and, you know, you're always like carving certain runes down on the ground. I may even have another video where I'll show you guys what I did when I went up to the forest. But these different things, it's just a quick conversation I wanted to let you guys know about. But research is very, very important. So we may do a pretend research paper here, which is something that you can put in, you know, like your book of shadows. I'll choose a deity. I'll write down, you know, what that deity likes. I'll put some pictures up, and then I'll put something about maybe working with a certain deity. And that'll kind of give you an idea of things that you might want to write down and things that you may want to practice. Now, we must also remember warnings, okay, about working with certain spirits. If you do work with spirits, not everybody does. Number one, don't always expect a spirit or a deity or a god or a goddess to grant your wishes. There may be a reason for that. It could be that, you know, you need to learn a little bit more. It could be that, you know, you are not ready, or it could be that they are not there to grant your wishes like a genie. Maybe they're there to give you knowledge and to give you spiritual guidance. That's another thing. So that's the other thing too. And it happened to me too. Yes, I did a ritual that I'm going to show you. I actually was trying to reach out to certain spirits to do a favor for me, for a client. Come to find out, they weren't there to do favors for me. They were there to guide me. So that certain ritual had nothing to do with my client at all. It had more to do with being spiritually led properly. And I finally figured it out after 5 years.